which is me. Me. Yeah, and stuff like that. Now, I added a couple more provinces. I didn't get to adding cities, though. But I am recording this on May 5th. You'll be seeing it, hopefully, on May 6th, or maybe May 7th. We will see. But probably May 7th. So there will be even more provinces by the time this video comes out. But as you can see, I added the Italians. Did the Swedish and these people already have theirs? Don't know. And then I added some colonial ones over here. And also, you may notice that these borders over here are a little different than they were last episode. And that is because I forgot about provinces, and so I just drew random borders. But these four countries had provinces, and now their borders follow provinces. I didn't change any provinces, I just changed land. So there we go. And let's start this off in America. So last episode, France fought a war against Sweden and won, almost directly followed by the USL rebelling, United States of Lisbon Sailor. I'll just call this America sometimes, but sometimes the USL or the United States or the United States of Lisbon Sailor. But so the Swedish want their land back, if you probably guessed. So that happened. No. So the Swedish want their land back, as you probably guessed. Um, and so, and after this revolution, they saw a weak point, thinking that USL is not strong. And so their forces line the borders of Michigan on New York and Wisconsin. Well, no, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, as well as Wisconsin and Minnesota, even though they control most of Minnesota, and immediately begin a large scale invasion of the US, which is the largest invasion in the history of the world. And it's only like 1590. So, no, I think I said last episode it was 1600, but and this is the largest invasion in the history of the world as Swedish troops pour into them. They even surround Lake this. Don't know what lake it is. Is that Lake Erie? I think this is Lake Erie, right? Don't know. But anyway, they surround whatever lake that is, and as well as their troops entering in from up here. Now, the unsuspecting USL was not prepared for this at all. So Swedish troops are having a rather easy time entering into the USL and taking them over. Their main first goal is to take over these three provinces. They say it shouldn't be too hard, and it seems like it is that way, as they've already taken over most of this province. They surround up there and begin pushing in, finally taking the province. And begin working into this one, which is another one of their goals, as their goal is to take this one, and this one first, as well as this one on this front. But we're focusing on this front right now. Swedish troops will enter into the Michigan province, They will boat across this narrow strip here as well, and soon the northern half of Michigan has fallen, and they go down and take the entire peninsula and then work up and help them before finally pushing them out of that province and actually meeting up with their troops over there, completely surrounding the Great Lakes. They finish off this province, helping connect over there. Also need to fix that in a second. And back over here on this front, Swedish troops easily pour into New York. And now they're going for the more populated areas, which are over here, as this front is the main focus. They capture this New York province and then go over to the Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut one and take it. You'll be snaking around the New Jersey coast, go into Delaware and the rest of Delmarva, is that what it's called? I don't know, it's just Maryland. And then, well, and Delaware. And then they go around here. A lot of the northern USL has been taken by the Swedish, but the USL hasn't surrendered yet. But their forces are getting even farther pushed back, especially out here in the west, where they have the worst protections. So the west falls quickly, and they have a plan. It's to retreat back to these 5 provinces and then try to fend off the Swedish from there. Not that they really had much choice other than to do that, as the Swedish were pouring through their territory already, going up against these highly defended borders of these provinces, surrounding and killing a lot of USL troops. Down here in the area, small attacks begin happening across the border by them, not going very far in. However, they start to grow larger than the original size. And finally, they have a breakthrough in the lines and are making a small offensive into them. They surround these troops here and take them and begin pushing. Find this in our fronts. And a small French army base that is right here is surrounded by their troops. This one is retained by the original French government. Wait, no, it was the original French government even after the revolution, but now the revolution controls it. And they're like, don't attack our fort. But then the Swedish do. They attack it and take it as their forces are pushing farther and farther into the provinces. However, this angers France, and suddenly a large flow of French stuff is going into here, even though France originally controlled this. This allows for a big USL push, not as big as the Swedish were pushing before, back into their former territory that are beyond the provinces they were trying to protect. Their next goal is to take these peninsula over and then go up into here, which works out well. French donated ships land here and here, allowing for them to take them over, and Sweden will agree to a conditional surrender on their part. So these borders will give Sweden some land, and I'm going to draw them all. Be right back. Okay, so you can see these lines I've drawn along the provincial borders. Now, a lot of people are saying that the USL should feel lucky that the Swedish could have taken way much more territory than they did. And that's right, but not exactly right, because the Swedish surrendered. They couldn't have taken too much territory, but they also couldn't have taken too little. Well, they could have taken too little if they wanted to. I don't know what I'm saying. But then something happens and everyone over there just does something. Yeah. Well, but then something like this happens, and then that, and then that, and then that. And everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And everyone is like, "Well, I just kidding. They do not fit." But over here in a land known only to land humans, there's no such thing as sea humans. But anyway, over here, the Russian country begins a big campaign to expand out east across the plains. They find this island and take it and push up against this river. And eventually they'll stop at here for now. Already controlling a whole lot more territory than they did originally, even though it's kind of useless. Now, they don't really like that the dark green team attacked them when they were does the Alliance Layer still exist even though we deleted it? I think the Alliance Layer I accidentally deleted the Alliance Layer. Oh wait, no, maybe layer 4 is it. Yeah, it's layer 4. Okay. So now so they do something that you would not expect. Two countries that just got out of a war with each other to do. They will be forming an alliance, the Triangle Alliance. Everyone is going to be like, wow, triangles, and all that nonsense. And yeah, so they form the one and only Triangle Alliance that both of them are in. And what the hey? Oh, I actually put this on the background layer. Um, Let me just do this. Okay, so we'll go up to the alliance layer, layer 4, and they will form the triangle alliance. And their first thing this triangle alliance does, you might wonder, what is the first thing? I don't know. What do you think? The first thing the Triangle Alliance does is attack the dark green team. The first thing. Now, the light green team isn't very strong. What's the actual background? The light green team isn't very strong. And so, the first thing they'll do After these war declarations are received, dark green troops will immediately enter in to the light green team, taking these provinces that are somewhat populated but not very. They immediately surround and take the capital, which shouldn't have happened, says the light green team. And, well, yeah, they take their coast immediately and begin a larger campaign. However, they weren't really worrying about the Russians, because I mean, you don't need to worry about Russians, you know. And maybe you should have worried about the Russians because they immediately come pouring in to the dark green team from the north. The north. They immediately take these two major cities as well as another one pretty quickly and begin immediately pushing down into this country that shouldn't exist after its collapse. The dark green team is like, seriously? However, the weakened light green team is easily took out by them. And then something happens. Wow. A new government arises. Its governmental name, never have guessed. Just kidding. So in Ukraine, some democratic rebels arise. So these are not the same as the old monarchist Ukraine. These are democratic people. I don't mean Democrats as in the political party in America. I mean Democrats as in democratic people. But they will turn the tolerance up. Just pretty smart move. Maybe I'll just boom. No, move over one and turn block. Yeah, nah, I'm not keeping that. Oh, right. Actually, that's good job here. Well, anyway, these rebels take all the lines along former Ukrainian territory and unite them against not former Ukrainian territory. Yeah. They begin taking the south with this elongated major city, and that elongated major city now is not elongated. How the Russians don't really want to deal with this right now, and so it goes pretty quickly. That falls over to the Russians, and so does that. Until the Russians are like, "Gah, just have your independence. No, we don't care." And so they do. They have it. And then they take over the front lines. What the hey, everyone says. When did this happen? So then is when just turn the tolerance down to 20. Okay, well, to fix that. But anyway, the Russians are just like, "Gah, have your independence. We don't want it. We don't want you anymore. You're just being annoying." And so Ukraine re-achieves their independence in the middle of the war. And this is the second time that the dark green team has immediately wiped out the um light green team. But then that happens, and then there's no light green team. Just kidding. This is the second time in the series that the light green team, a once strong country, has been beat by the dark green team. I like the light green team. Just so you know, I do not have anything against them. I like them. They're one of my favorite countries in the world at this point. So yeah, they'll take this major city and that major city. Okay, for a second I thought that I wasn't recording. They take all the major cities in the world. Just kidding. They surround this large amount of their troops. Yeah. And large groups appear in your hair. Large rebel groups appear. You hear me? Let me put this at the top. Large insurgent groups appear all over, everywhere, even in the red team. And everyone's like, huh? But they never controlled the red team. Everyone's like, wahaha. And then I'm like, that never happened. Well, anyway, these lime insurgent people will not do that. If you know what I mean. I mean green jelly bean. No. Um, hello. Let me just clean this up. Okay, well, like I was saying, when he's asking if my computer is asking if I'm playing music. No. Let me turn the lights off. Well, no, it's not off. It's green. Well, anyway, large green groups appear mostly in the southern part of the country, but there's one up here. The groups quickly take this capital and even invade into the dark green team. But mostly, they take the capital. Okay, not mostly. They don't mostly take the capital. Mostly, they overthrow Dark Green Team in their country. Woohoo! Yeah, people. Wow. And they will push back. Mm. And the people, they need money. They need your money. Just kidding. The Lime Green Team is now a democracy, as that's what the people wanted. Russia will remain a monarchy, though, but they're still friends. Lion troops are very, very mad, and so they are going through the Green Team really quickly. They go up here and take the capital, and then meet up with the troops up here that belong to the roost. So let us draw this peace treaty. And I'll let you see me draw the peace treaty this time. It is generally agreed that people should own their life. Yeah. Well, anyway, take the promises I'm playing. So the green team, well, the lime green team, not the dark green team, will get all of this territory. Or will they? Yes, they will. No, they won't. Mhm. They will get it. They'll get what they want. They'll get whatever they want. In fact, they'll get all that they want. And that leaves all of that to go to the green team. Wow, massive green team. Lime green team. However, they still don't really like the Russians. Well, they like the Russians, they're allies, obviously. But they're still kind of angry at the Russians that they won't give back the northern half of their territory. But this will have to work for now. There's quite some nice borders. I like it. Well, over in the land that has doomed the French. What? What is this? Is this a country or is this an occupied zone? Well, it's a country now. I don't care if it was an occupied zone before, because if it was, it's declared independence. And if it was a country before, now it's just an easier distinguishable color. But yeah. Now the Chinese and the Purpletons invade each other. No. The Purpletons land in California and meet up with the Greeks. And then they realize that this continent is smaller than they thought. They thought it stretched all the way across the sea until it nearly bumped Asia, but obviously that's not correct. Anyway, they expand and take a lot of the west coast. But over in Asia, tensions are plugging. See what I did there? No, you don't, because I didn't do anything. Well, anyway, the world will join some alliances. No. What are you talking about? That's not gonna happen. I hate this undoing. Well, anyway, the world will start joining alliances. And it seems that the world might be getting ready for a world war. But anyway, joining the Russian alliance is the Chinese and the former and the Philippine, California, Hawaii country that used to be in Bangladesh, the former Bangladesh country. Other countries that joined Russia's alliance are the Red Team, the Green Team, well, the Lime Green Team, former Norway, and thus Finland. And finally, Lithuania will join as well. Let me just change the size of Russia's almighty spectacle. As Russia is the biggest country in the world at this point, I think They deserve a bigger triangle. And then there'll be a couple of other countries joining. Joining. I thought you said, and finally. Had it? I really did. That's because the Slope Alliance is being formed. And by who but Sweden? Sweden. I knew you would betray us and form a Slope Alliance. I just knew it. And who will be joining it? Well, let's see. Ukraine, as they want to get revenge. The blue country and the Egyptian country apply for membership, but the Swedish deny them as their countries that the world doesn't really like, and they think it would give their country, their alliance, bad popularity. Other countries that join it include India, after seeing India and their close friend, the um Bangladesh country, as they don't like that China and the purple country joined it. And finally, well, not really finally, but and for now, the French country will join it as well. Now, because of these joinings, some things will happen. One thing is that um a new member joins the red team. Not the red team, the Strike Alliance, and that is the USL. Why, you might be saying? Well, that is because of Sweden creating their alliance. And one more country joins the Triangle Alliance, and that is Greece, leading to every country, just kidding, not every country, but most of the countries being aligned to another power. These are attack one, attack all alliances. Might be like, that's early for that. But no. No, no. No, no. But over here in Asia, not Asia, sorry. Over here in Asia and Africa, we'll be doing some expansion in Morocco. But you say, not Morocco. And I say, yes, Morocco. Morocco will expand along the coasts of their continent, detecting that Europeans will want to go there soon. Now, I think I've previously mentioned this, but Morocco is basically a European country, even though it is not in the continent of Europe. It is very European, pro-European, and it has a very European culture, and it does very European things, not like other pure African countries such as Egypt, Libya, Somalia, or the Sinai Peninsula. They are very European, but they still don't want their homeland invaded. The Somalians think the same thing and expand quickly into Tanzania and go up and meet with this lake, which I think is Lake Victoria, maybe? I'm not sure. They surround it, and also this smaller lake, and touch up against this lake that don't take it entirely, leading to these African countries becoming rather large Though, if I'd have to guess who is larger, um, I would probably say Morocco, as they stretch around the entire northwestern coast of Africa. But over in Asia, some more climation will be happening. I cannot speak English. Specifically down here, where the Persians will be expanding northernward into these unclaimed lands. The Teal Turkmenistan country will also expand this way, but yeah, and they'll just take all this territory without any claims to it or anything. So yeah, all the countries here will expand somewhat, expanding towards the lake that is here. And yeah, except for the countries that don't border it. So yeah, like that one. No, I didn't point to anything, so you don't know that one I'm talking about. But I'm talking about that one. And yeah, so yeah. Also, I believe the dark green team is the first original country that I've gotten rid of. It is very rid of, obviously, as it no longer exists. All that nonsense. But I believe it is the first episode one countries I've gotten rid of. Also, if you have any opinions on the power rankings, comment them down below. It would be cool if you could do all of them, but just like the top 10 or top 20 or top 5 would be fine. Because I don't really know what the power rankings are. I just know that Sweden and Russia are rather strong countries. Speaking of Russia, they are beginning to explode outward, but now they're kind of slowing their advance, and they don't really need to advance anymore. Majority of Asia has suddenly just become claimed. I know, right? They expand outward, hoping to claim China. China? Why would they hope to claim China? China's already claimed. The rest of Far East Asia. But the Japanese just jump in and do what the Japanese do and take over all of this before the Russians can say a word. And then they do that and that and that. And then they go over here and they take it. And they say, wahoo! And take it all. But what? This can't be. And over in America, there is something happening. This is claimed. I don't know why this is here. But they also drive across the seas into Alaska and begin claiming it. They're like, maybe we haven't even landed on America. Maybe we've landed on an entirely different continent. And I'm like, no, but they can't hear me. So they just begin expanding. And when they don't meet any people, they're like, oh, we were right. It's an entirely different continent. But then they claim Vancouver and meet up with the purple. And they're like, oh. And then they meet up with the Swedes. And they're like, oh. And they're like, we haven't. But suddenly, they control a majority of America. Okay, not a majority, but quite a lot. Not as much as Sweden. Or maybe as much as Sweden. But definitely more than Greece. Down here in the southern, yeah, that's still the word. Southern American continent, South Lisbon, Salica. The Poles, is this who this says? Explained. And then the Germans cut them off. Germans. They just cut the Poles' access off to their colonies. They block Polish ships from going in to them. Yeah. And this causes Poland to lose control over their colony and it declares independence. And right before they are about to declare war on the Poles, not the Poles, on the Germans join their alliance. And that is going to be doing it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.